This is Fido Friendly Travel Talk. Here's your host, Susan Sims.
Hey everybody, it's Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk, brought to you by Animal Radio, where we talk about the travel and lifestyle for you and your furry best friend. I think I'm probably with a lot of pet parents when we start thinking about the 4th of July. Last year, I was aware my neighbor would have a wild extravaganza firework display, and it was going to rival Disneyland. So my dog Honey and I checked into a quiet hotel for the night. But never again. My guest today is Kirsten Brand, inventor of Pawnix, makers of the noise-canceling headset for dogs. Hi, Kirsten, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's more than my pleasure. So please tell us, what was the idea behind Pawnix?
The idea behind Pawnix all started with my own dog needing a solution from being scared of thunderstorms and fireworks. Way back in 2017 now, it seems so long ago, but she got scared from a fireworks display on the 4th of July, ran through the neighborhood. I saw her go by and realized I was now a statistic. Luckily, I got her back. And at that point in time, I worked for a dog food and cat food producer, and they also made treats. So she and I were traveling around the country on planes, and she would get scared when they would slam the overheads before you take off. And just one day, I had this light bulb moment about putting my own noise canceling headphones on her. And, I was holding them all awkward because she's a smaller dog, around 20 pounds. But I got them over her ears. And then, a little bit later, she calmed down because she wasn't hearing things the same way. And then I was like, well, I can figure out how to make this work for her. And then the more I got into it and the more I was telling people about it, everybody shares their stories about their dogs. And they're like, oh, yeah, I either knew somebody whose dog was scared or their own personal dog was scared. So I was like, I should try this. I get it to work on my dog, so I should try it for other dogs.
That's amazing. And I'm so happy that you did. So walk us through how it works, and also from concept to completion, what was the timeline for you on that?
Sure. So I told you I started with the human headphones. So I knew that there was already technology out there that worked. And I was just spending my nights and weekends all of 2017 and 18, and a little bit of 19, kind of reverse engineering and trying to figure out what were the parts of like a Sony Bose or Beats that we needed for a dog and how to make that specific to these sounds of the thunderstorms and fireworks. Because the human headset, right, tunes out a lot of stuff just to make basically your music sound better. But the dogs don't need that. They just really needed to muffle and block out the thunderstorms and fireworks. So it took me a couple of years because I was doing nights and weekends. And then the universe, God intervened, and I was part of a reorg where I found my way out of the company. And I was very happy because then I could concentrate on Pawnix and not just do it on nights and weekends. So all of 19 was just dedicated to Pawnix, and we came to market early 2020.
Wow. So, because we're just audio, it's hard to explain. But seeing the product and how it fits, and you have that little ears up on top. How do we work? So we ordered this. I know it's made in USA and it's custom. And once we receive this, how's this going to work? What are we going to do?
Sure. There's an electronic, kind of like your own personal headphones on each side that sit over the dog's ear. And they have microphones that take the sound in and through physics make the anti-noise or the opposite noise that then goes and plays out a speaker to the dog's ear and knocks the original noise down. So it's very dampened. If it's you're outside and a fireworks right overhead, your dog is still going to hear it because it can only cancel so much in a period of time, but it does a very good job. And dogs get used to it, and they are like, wow, I don't hear things the same way anymore. Some take a little more time to get used to wearing something on their head, because there is it's kind of like a little mini helmet around their head that holds the electronic on, so you don't have to deal with like straps and other contraptions. And there's a foam piece because we tried to keep it very soft and so that they could lay on it. And there's nothing worse than like trying to lay down on your own personal headphones
Yeah.
and all that hard plastic making it hard. So I tried to remove as much of that as possible because it also like counters what we're trying to do, and just made it comfy so that they could fall asleep in it, because there's nothing worse than like getting woken up by your neighbor's fireworks or a thunderstorm in the middle of summer and then not being able to go to sleep because you can't comfort your dog. And so we made it so that the dog could go back to sleep in them and wear them, through the night, so you didn't have to worry about, oh, do I have to wake them up in 6 hours and take it off? Like, no, just let them sleep through it.
That's awesome. So now we have this, and what's our first step? What should we do? And the time is going to be different for each puppy, but conditioning them to get used to it. I think of my own dog, Honey. I already know it's going to take a long time, just just because of who she is. So I know it's going to be different for everyone, but just like a basic idea of how we would condition our pets to wear this.
Yeah, we like to say, hey, figure out how they're motivated, right? Like a lot are treat motivated, some aren't, and some just want pets and cuddle time, and figure out what they are. So first introduce it to your dog, the helmet portion that contains the electronic, and let them smell it. Let them get familiar with it before you just throw it on their head, because they'll tend to tell you if they're going to be okay with it. Like if they're smelling it and super interested, they'll probably let you put it on right away. If they kind of start to look at it and back away, then you may need to, show it to them a couple more times with a couple more treats so they start associating one of their favorite things with it. And then before the storms or the thunderstorms even come, we say like during the day or around nap time maybe, or even, when you're traditionally going to put them to bed, or they put themselves to bed sometimes, we introduce it then too, so that they can be more relaxed and associate it with relaxing time versus trying to do it the minute a thunderstorm comes for the first time. Because then they'll be like, oh, well, there's a scary thing, and then what is my parent trying to do to me now and put this on me? But if you do it enough in advance, some dogs get it the very first time, some take a week, some take much longer depending on their own personal PTSD, right? Because they're dealing with their own stress, anxiety, and cortisol dumps, and all the science that we have too. But they have it a little more intense because it's part of their fight or flight for protection. So it may take your dog a little longer. And if it doesn't work the very first time, where you see that, they don't respond immediately, like try it another 2 or 3 times. We do give a 60-day trial period, because it does take some dogs a couple of times to go, wait, something's different, right? Like they're just so ingrained and in process to a cycle that they need a couple times to be like, something is truly different, and I don't know what yet.
Yeah.
And a lot of dogs, now that we've been in business for 4 years, we still have people that will send us dog pictures and dog stories of their dog in the Pawnix, and they'll tell us that over time, even their dog, when they know a storm is approaching, will go to the spot that is kind of stored and say, hey, parent, mom, dad, I need my Pawnix. Can you get it out? There's a storm coming, well before the human even knows what's going on.
I love that. And what type of music do you suggest for our little sweet furry companions to listen to?
So if you don't know what your dog likes music wise, that's okay. Some people know because of what they play in their house all the time. But we suggest classical music that doesn't have like percussion or drums. Shelter studies have found that reggae music is really soothing to dogs because the beats per minute is slow and it's very repetitive, and nice voices. But like my dog, because I listen to like Les Mis and Broadway musicals all the time, like she likes that and will just go to sleep.
She's,
So it
she's
really
so cultured.
depends on yeah, thanks. It just depends on what, like what you're used to playing. Like I have not to play favorites with some customers, but some do keep in contact more. And one, Peter, he loves Frank Sinatra. And so it's cute to just hear the dog's personalities and also what they tend to start to like over time.
That's so fun. I feel like my next question needs to come with a drum roll because it's a big deal. So, Okay, tell us about you and your dog Emma on Shark Tank.
Oh my goodness, that was a fabulous experience. Like, I can't tell you how wonderful the people were and are. Like, a lot of the staff has been on the show for most of the 16, 17 seasons. They're very lovely people to interact with even afterwards. Some of us still keep in contact, but the whole lead up to the show, um, for me, it was a little bit anxious and nerve-wracking because they show you the studio and the set and the sharks aren't there yet, but it's very large and like the amount of space between the sharks and you is just it's like you have to project and you're imagine standing up in front of like a classroom, right? But like everybody's a professor and everybody's very good at what they do and you're presenting and you know your stuff and they don't know your stuff, but it's just it's it's really invigorating too.
Well, did you get a
So we were
shark?
we were out there. Did I what?
Did you get a shark?
I did not, and it was very interesting because I kind of went in having favorites.
Hmm.
And then that kind of all got restacked after meeting them and just interacting. And like, everybody has their own opinion of Mr. Wonderful. And I think Mr. Wonderful is wonderful. Just at the rate that he talked to me about innovation and everything. And you'll see a lot of the interaction with me and Mark Cuban, and he was wonderful too. And I was really kind of challenged because I thought that they would challenge me more and like really want to get into like the numbers and stuff. And like it wasn't about that for them and my product. They were very supportive. Um, Two of them said you should rip the electronic out and basically sell a hat. And at the time that was on the market and it didn't work for my dog. It may work for others, but I needed to invent something that worked for my dog. So that's why I invented Pawnix. And so again, everybody, even the sharks, super nice, and I can't tell anybody not to do it. I would say if you have the opportunity, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you should feel blessed and just do your best.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No kidding. So, for those of us listening who want to order after they go to your website, Pawnix.com, and that is Nix at the end, what is the lead time that we should look at? I know today, as we're recording, we're a bit away from July, but it will be here sooner than later.
Yeah, so I'd say like in the winter and the spring months and sort of towards the fall, if it's not peak where it would be Memorial Day, 4th of July, Diwali. We get a lot of orders from the UK too for Halloween, and then of course New Year's. Like those are definitely the peaks because they're surrounded by the fireworks season. All the other days of the year were standard like 3 to 5 business days. But when it comes to like May and June, we are here round the clock and we're trying to get things out in 2 days if possible. We offer everything from standard United States Postal Service shipping, which can get you in 3 to 5 days, to 2 day with UPS, to during that season, even overnight with FedEx if you really want to pay the $120 to get it overnight. But yeah, we have all options. And because we know it's so important to get it early and, for 4th of July, we work around the clock and we just really aim for great customer service because we really just care about you and your dog having the best possible experience that you can with us.
I can tell, and I appreciate that you do. And before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like our listeners to know about Pawnix?
I would. It gets kind of buried. Sometimes it's hard to find, but we do donate $5 from the sale of every headset to 2 of our favorite charities. So you're not only doing good for your dog, but you're doing good for other dogs. Find a chance at a forever home.
That's excellent. You're speaking to the heart right now. So thanks for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it too. Thank you so much.
That's it for Fighter Friendly Travel Talk. You have been listening to my guest, Kirsten Brand with Pawnix. Log on to Pawnix.com to learn more. And for more information about today's show or just about traveling with Fido, log on to fighterfriendly.com. Until next time, travel safe and leave no dog behind. This is Susan Sims with Fido Friendly Travel Talk.